Okay, so how do you know if your advertising is actually working? If you're a car dealer, local store business, and even some modern day e commerce stores? Well, the answer is pretty simple. You have to look at everything all at once. Guys, what's going on? That was a weak clap. There we go. David Feldman-Makrias back with you again. And I want to showcase exactly how we know that the advertising recommendations that we put in front of clients actually works. I'm going to give you a couple different examples. First, I'm going to show you an example when you're only looking at one data source and how that can be skewed, but it's not actually bringing you more sales and more customers. And then I'm going to show you a second example where we look at multiple data sources combined, Google Analytics, CRM data, so on and so forth. And it actually paints a clear picture of, oh, yeah, even though all these things are measuring different things, it's working. So, first and foremost, let's go into the bad example. Okay, so this slide right here is actually a slide we were using for a presentation. And we actually got the Google Analytics access for this client to help review, audit, and really check what's going on to see if everything's up on the up and up or if there are things that really don't make sense in here. Again, if anybody's interested in that, just leave me some notes in the comments. I'd be happy to look in your analytics and have discussions with you. It's something I'm doing to just build relationships and potential partnerships. So if you'd like to, for me to look at your Google Analytics, just let me know in the comments, and I'd be more than happy. But here is a brief synopsis on this customer's Google Analytics. This is a car dealership. What we noticed here, overall traffic acquisition, very high volume of traffic in Google Ads, indicated by Google CPC. That's the source medium, indicated by Google Ads. And then average engagement time is quite low, suggesting high volume, low intent audiences. So here's what we found. This customer came to us and said, hey, my analytics is showing a lot of, hits to the website, engagement, whatever, but I'm not getting more sales and I'm not getting more customers. What's going on? So when we open up the hood, we find, wow, okay, Google CPC, wow, that's 17,000, almost 18,000 total users September 1st through the 29th of this year. And the total users is about 36,568. This is over, it's just about 50%. And that's a high amount of users to the website, considering organic is only 2,200 and direct is 6,800. That's quite a bit of traffic. But it leads into the more engagement metrics, like your engagement metrics, rather than just your hit metrics, need to also paint the story that makes sense. So when we come into average engagement time, which is something I like to glance at very quickly to see if, okay, our campaigns are actually performing the right way as far as getting people to the website and keeping them there, having them engage. When I looked at this, 17 seconds, that is a very, very low average engagement time for Google CPC traffic or Google Ads traffic. I don't even see that low of an engagement time in certain e-commerce scenarios, let alone I should see more like a minute, minute 20, minute 40. And if you're really, really optimize a really good site with good offers, 2 minutes plus from Google Ads traffic, just as a general note. So that tells me right away, okay, there's a lot of total users, there's a lot of sessions happening, and the people are engaging at least for a bit, but they're not lasting on the site very long. They're not engaging for very long. So that's an instance to go, wait a minute, whatever investment you're making in this Google CPC for this client in the Google Ads, there's something wrong. And that's why the customer reached out to us, because he's feeling that his current agency is saying he's getting all this traffic, but it's not converting into sales. So this was what I meant by the not so good example, right? You're only looking at one source of data. When we, myself, my team, go to present in front of end users and customers, what we like to do is start with a couple numbers, and that's usually their most critical number. For a car dealer, it's going to be sales. And they think of monthly. So we do monthly sales or month to date sales. And then we take that number and we go backwards. Month to date sales, month to date, what's next? Total visits, appointments shown, appointments set, good leads. That's kind of where we start to dissect the numbers by working from the most important number first. But you'll notice that screenshot here only is talking about website traffic and analytics. Yes, the digital marketing is the number one advertising for this specific dealer. So yes, Google Analytics should be able to tell us some really keen insight, but we don't have the same lead information. We don't know what happened to the leads. We don't know how, when someone converted from the website, how they went about the process and were handled after that. And that's why we got to look at so many different things all at once. I like to look at the following: CRM, Google Analytics, and then whatever ad platform I'm running ads on, because I want to see how they all interconnect. I usually start with the CRM data because that's going to give me sales, good leads, appointment set, shown, visits, sold, everything. And then I'm going to work backwards and go into analytics. Okay, analytics, where are we at as far as website traffic? What's the most amount of website traffic? What type of, which sources of traffic are actually converting? And then after that, I'll go into the actual platform that I manage, Google Ads, let's say, or Meta Ads. Okay, how many, conversions are we getting? How many phone calls? And then you start to paint the picture. Is it working? So let me show you actually a good example. And I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so let's start with analytics this time. We're going to work our way back up to see if our advertising is actually working. So what does this say? This is a similar user acquisition report that we used in the first example. It's actually quite a similar time frame too, September 1st through 30th of 2024 compared to 2023. And you'll notice too, it's all broken out here, pretty much the same, but I have different date ranges under each source of traffic. Now you'll also notice that I have a big increase. I have 19,000, almost 20,000 total users to the site. It's a 68% increase, right? 68% increase from year over year. If I look at Google CPC, Google Ads, we have 8,000 total users compared to 3,100. That's a 150% increase in total users, which is great. And you'll notice as we scroll down, there's a lot of other traffic sources that are up as well. But David, we just talked about total users doesn't always mean a lot. What else can we look at to make sure that we're on par? Well, I like to look at average engagement time. So my average engagement time used to be 1:49 in Google Ads last year, but now it's 1:15. So, okay, it's gone down a little bit. So they're not engaging as much, but it's not 17 seconds. It's not 20 seconds. People are still engaging, right? And usually when you're pumping a lot more traffic, and depending upon the campaign type, you will actually find that as your total users increase, your engagement will go down a little bit. You will see that. But it shouldn't be something where they're only spending a minimal amount of time like we saw in the previous example. We're still getting people to engage on the site for over a minute and a quarter, basically. And then even as I keep going through, our key events are more. Key events I've talked about multiple times. Key events are things like phone calls, leads, form submissions, chat initiations, digital retailing tool starts. Those are all key events. And notice we went from 11 to 57. We're getting a lot more bang for the buck, and it's increasing and it's going the right way. But again, this is what we can see from an analytics standpoint. What do we have to do now? Well, we have to look into the CRM, the other data source, to make sure that our advertising and everything we're seeing, at least from a digital perspective, is working. So let's look at it. Okay, this is a lead report, all right? This is a lead report that I pull custom for the store. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I have September 2023 versus September 2024. In September 2023, they sold 44 vehicles with 305 good leads. But now, a year later, September 2024, they sold 80 vehicles with 479 good leads. Our advertising is working. We're stepping up our game and we're able to sell more cars, which is excellent. Now, there's a lot of other factors that, play into it. Strength of the dealership, how much they have in inventory, their pricing structure, how good their salespeople are, yada, 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 yada. But that's not in our control. We have to look at what's in our control. So that's why we look at this, right? And I like to dissect it even further. You'll notice over here, there's a couple rows actually left non-shaded out. And this is a report that I love to pull because, okay, from the dealer website, right? That number I gave you originally, 80 and 479, those numbers are the entire marketing, right? But let's look at just the dealer website part of it so we can understand, because when we're looking at analytics, this is all based on the website, and all of our advertising digitally is pushing to the website. So that means, in theory, that the website should be producing better results. And take a look at this, the dealer website group. We went from September 2023, 27 good leads and 6 sales, to September 2024, 139 good leads and 25 sales. That is outstanding. That's like a 5,000% increase in sales. So, guys, this is the kind of stuff we look at to make sure that the advertising is working. You need to make sure you're looking at all the different sources of truths. Source of truths. Yes, sources of truth. Whatever, you know what I mean. All the different data sources. I recommend your CRM, your analytics, and your ad platform. There will be companies, here's the caveat. One caveat, there will be companies that will say, oh, we have a reporting system, a dashboard, a technology, or whatever to group everything together, and it's all going to talk to each other, and all the reporting is going to be perfect. I don't think it exists. I've tried. I've looked at many different vendors to see if there's anything out there that really does a good job tying everything in. Unless you're using, I still don't see it working good, even if you're using a company like Cox Automotive, where you can do your website through dealer.com and then your CRM through Vin Solutions and your DMS through DealerTrack, and you're using their marketing, whoever their marketing company is. I don't know if Cox has one. I would think they do. But anyways, I still don't see it work if everybody's got those technology stacks, because A, they just don't talk that well to each other. And B, there's so many changes, especially in the analytics platforms and the ad platforms like Google Analytics and Google Ads, that it's really hard for a third-party technology that's not as well funded as Google to be able to keep up with Google's changes. I just haven't seen a good job of it anywhere. And trust me, I'm always looking. I'm always looking for that actual attribution software that's going to connect all the dots. We've tried going through some, and I just haven't seen to this day, October 4th, 2024, where that's a thing. So that's why I say, if you want to know if your advertising is working for your store, you need to look at everything all at once. And if you're heavily relying upon digital, which a lot of my stores are these days, I'm going to look at your CRM, I'm going to look at your Google Analytics, and I'm going to look at your ad platforms. And I'm going to look at them all separately, but all at the same time, to make sure the picture that we want is painted. And if there's anything we need to tweak, then we can. David Feldman-Makrias, talking about more digital advertising. Hopefully you're doing well, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Leave me comments if you'd like to, and catch you around in the next video.